Hi, my name's Huckster and I've been playing Bellwright since it first came out, and I've got to admit, after several hundred hours I'm still loving it for numerous reasons. First of all, it's beautiful. Huh? This is the village that I've got so far, 105 days in. Now, I genuinely believe, now this is my own opinion obviously, that this is the type of game that is easy to learn but hard to master. Okay, so just to point the reasons why. It's a survival, building, combat, exploration game. You know, it covers a lot of genres. There's lots of games out there like it, very similar. You can compare it to quite a few quite easily. So when you first log in, if you play any of these type of games, a lot of it is obvious. Right, you start off with nothing. So you've got to collect resources, you've got to build buildings, you've got to have shelters, you've got to have places where you create, where you learn. You need to constantly get resources in order to do that. And all of it, that aspect is actually really quite satisfying. You can do a lot of it yourself, but then you can recruit your workers to help you do it. Now, 100 days in, and I am pretty much self-sufficient. I could go AFK, come back on the day of a raid, organise the guys and raid, and pretty straightforward, and that's that. But I've got to a point in the game where I'm just about to liberate the next village, or my first village, and I've tried it once and it was unsuccessful. I wasn't prepared. So I decided to make this video based on my preparation since my last effort. And I would say one of the main reasons I love this game is because since I've been posting videos and live feeds, the community or the people that I've interacted with have been fantastic. So I genuinely believe that this game does attract some of the some really decent people who just like to play games, just like myself. And at the end of the day, it's a hobby. And sharing interests and sharing hobbies, I think that's what YouTube is designed for, or should be. Anyway, so they're the reasons why I'm still playing this game. The reasons why I'm actually making this video isn't a how-to, it's a preparation video. If anyone watches it and notices that I'm doing something obviously wrong, or has got an idea or suggestion that would be an improvement, or if someone's watching it and going, oh okay, that's helpful from what I've talked about and learnt from other people, or from comments below, then that's what it's here for. Okay, so preparation. Let me start with food. Food can be a bit tricky. It's relatively easy to get, but I find that just before raid, making sure all my guys are well fed, or at least fed, can be a little bit of housekeeping. So the barn, this is pretty much where I keep all my food, so enough food as a basic. I could get rid of that, but the rest is edible. So take away these two and I've got pretty much 700 units. More than enough food, but ideally I want the best type of food that I can produce at this stage, which is tier 1 food essentially. And I'm thinking if they all have smoked meat, I probably won't get the best of, but one lot of smoked meat, one lot of fine stew, and one lot of berry jam. If they can all have that, I think they'll be optimized. But I won't be able to do that because they'll have eaten other stuff. But that's what I'm aiming for. I've got backup spuds and onions and stuff, so I know they're going to be fed. So the plan is, around this time in the morning, 9-10 o'clock, ideally on a day like this, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to call them all in. Now this is the plan, to call them in. I'm going to go into army. This seems the most obvious and straightforward and simplest. And I can recruit them through here, and it's really simple. I don't think I'm not going to, because I just don't want to interrupt them, but Okay, in fact this is just a quick save, so I can bring them all in like this, and I'll just reload before I started this so that I don't mess them up for no reason, because I'm not going to fight now. So I've got them all there, or they've started to come. I'm going to pop them over there, so there's only a few of them, so they shouldn't get too snarled up. Then if I run over here, once they've got something to eat, this is just essentially a practice run. So they've all eaten. I can't set a rally point yet because the outliers. I'll keep an eye on it to make sure they don't go too far out. So within the first hour of day, I guess, just as they start mulling around, I'll call them in. So hopefully they'll go to the food warehouse, top up, and then come to me. Yeah. Okay. So also, she just got rid of a weapon. So I think she swapped the weapon. I just want to watch what they do, because I find a lot of them are leaving their weapons around. So I've got to make sure that they've all got the right equipment and the right food. So if I look at him, he's only taken 2. If I look at her, she's on 3. That's not a bad selection. She's got 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that's pretty much all of them. Now I'll basically set up a rally point here. For honor, for glory. And then at this point I'll make sure they've all got the right equipment. And I'll go through it. Yep, he's good. I know him because he's my first guy. So that's exactly what I'd have him with. I might change that to a better melee weapon. So I'm just going to use him as an example. Now at the moment I've got all my best melee equipment over here, because that's where all my raids come from. So I would normally put the rally point here and then swap them in. So I've got 2 short swords, 2 battle axes, and a lot of clubs and bows, arrows and shields. So I've definitely got more equipment than the amount of troops that I have. I should have eaten so I can run around a bit quicker. Okay, so I can swap some. Now some of them will already have. That's fine. She's great. So I will probably spend, like, I'll change that one. That's fine. Arrows, now I'll top her up. Okay, so I'm not going to do it now because this is what I will do the day of the raid. The next thing, once I make sure they've got all the equipment, I'll go over and get the food and make sure they've all got, like Lube hasn't even got a full selection of food. So I will stock up myself with a bunch of food, go to them individually and give them at least 1, if not 2, more than the consumed food. So they've got 1 to 2 extra food plus 3 already eaten. So that's the setup. Then we will head up to Haerndean. Now I'm going to just quickly go to my screen. I've got to do an actual specific shout out to okay, sorry about this. I will find him. It's going to be easy to find. He gave me a very simple tip which I failed to notice.
Hi, my name's Huckster and welcome to my
His
playthrough
name
in
is
Bellwright.
Jamie Lehmans.
It's early in the morning.
So I will say thank you to you, mate, for pointing out that in the bottom, companions, I had them on holding rather than charging, which I didn't notice because I hadn't realised I'd done that. In fact, I don't order. I'm not entirely sure how I did that. Oh, there we go, Q. That's easy. So make sure they're on charging. You know, most people will probably know that. I just didn't notice it because I just spent a couple of hours doing all the equipment and food. I went up and did it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was expecting, and I must have pressed the wrong button at the wrong time. So there you go. Changing. Right. The next thing I was going to talk about, apart from the food itself, okay, I'll put them back here, just so they don't follow me, is equipment. Now, I've been spending a lot of time getting these guys ready. Now, as you can see, all of them have at least a gambeson, which initially was really hard to get. The second one is the thick breeches, so they've all got that. And then I'm trying to get them the helmets, and then obviously the gloves and the boots. So, going over to my weaver's hut. I've had it like this kind of ongoing, where they're trying to make at least one more than I need. So essentially, whenever a new person turns up, I've already got as good gear as I can possibly get them. So a new person will get these 3 because I've got an extra one of each. But these have been a bit harder, and the problem I'm having with that is fur. I really do struggle, I'll go here, to get fur. Now the first boar I found was here, haven't seen them back since. I found a couple over here and a couple over here. So they might spawn, but there's not many of them around. So I'm trying to get the Outrider helmet on all of my guys, because obviously that's the only head armor. So the higher that can be, as far as I'm concerned, the better. And then I'll work on boots, because obviously, you know, I think the better the armor I have, the better chances. That's been the preparation. Okay, so this is very easy. Hide and linen at my stage, 105 days in, very easy to produce. Hide and tin, same, very easy to produce. The basic gambeson, the linen and the pelt, yeah, easy once again, but the feathers were really tricky. Now, whenever I'm out and about and I see a crow in the air, I will start hitting them if I think they're close enough for me to have. I've even had a go at those like flocks. I've never hit those. And in numerous attempts, I've only managed to take down 2 crows so far. And yeah, I've no idea how many I've tried. My getting feathers has been simply through my hunter camp. So crows. That's why I've got it set up at the moment. This keeps on, right, I want to keep that at 500. And I think I've got 3 hunters at the moment. Okay. So yeah, feathers. So I can get the best gambesons. So that's pretty easy. Now if I was going to be honest, I would probably have put my hunter camp around here somewhere. I know there's, you know, bandits around here, but I've got my hunters pretty well equipped. And yeah, if they have to deal with bandits, so be it. They'll just get more experience. There seems to be more game around here, and obviously not as much around here. So I think I would have been better off having them further out. But I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'm tempted to put another hunter camp somewhere down here. I've got 2, so they're basically covering 2 lots. Because feathers I'm fine with now, but meat. Yeah, I haven't got enough meat to do the smoked meat and the stew en masse, and I'll probably do some more of the cauldrons. But I don't know whether I'm going to bother doing it before I take the village or after. I'll play that one by ear. In fact, that would be, if anyone can make, anyone thinks which would be the best course of action, leave it and take the village, or put it up and get it in play, then so be it. It'll just be a few extra days before I go for the liberation. Now, I'm nearly ready. I'm probably, it's now the early in the morning on the 9th of May. I think I will probably be doing this liberation attempt around the 11th. And then I'll post the video up on the 11th. So I think I've covered everything I want to. If there's only one other thing, it's probably weapons. Oh no, it was weapons in fact. I was chatting to someone during a live feed and we were discussing which type of weapon would be better. So what we're talking about is obviously cutting, slashing, piercing, or blunt. Now when you actually look at the equipment yourself, these don't have any specifics against any type of damage. So there's no resistance towards blunt, I would say, on a gambeson. No resistance against slash, and probably detrimental towards piercing. So piercing would be plus damage and blunt would be negative damage. That's my take on it. I don't know if that's been implemented or it just doesn't count on the lower tiers, because I have no idea what the stats are on the higher tiers. So at the moment I've got loads of clubs, the reinforced clubs, but I would be inclined to give them the short sword or the axe. The two-hander, she's the only one I've got, and I don't know whether to give her a war hammer or a mace or an axe. You know, if you watch this video and you know, or you think, or you got a suggestion, that's one thing I would do. I would just give her a better weapon based on the type of enemy I'm going up against. So for the first attack, I will have them in one squad. We will move up to the village. I'll go to the near where the elder is. I will do a rally point next to him. I will initiate conversation or the dialogue, which will activate aggro and combat, and we'll take that as it is, see how we do. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully I won't have to scum save. Right, so for the next attack, I am going to bring them over to me. So right, and I'll have plenty of time, because once I've actually started this quest, I'm going to do the first part, then spend a couple of days in game, at least 2 nights, maybe more, replenishing stocks, and then I'm going to build the bell tower, which will initiate the next part, which is essentially the brigand raid, which I think, I'm not entirely sure which one it comes from, but it comes from down here somewhere. So it will take a good 10-15 minutes for them to get to me, so it won't be a massive panic. But I will have obviously sent them back to work. They won't be following me like this, or I will have them all stocked up, ready to go, all equipped. But the change I'm going to make is this, basically. So I'm going to add 2 squads, and I'm going to have half of them. So I'm just trying this now to see if it works. So
stand tall and fight like hell.
Right, so if I get rid of... Right, so that has worked. They basically got rid of the overall. I've got 6 in either of them, but what they will be is 6 with shields and 6... Oh, they both follow me, that's perfect. Okay, so if I go G and then order, these are going to be the archers up there, and then G and then order, and the melee there. Okay, so hopefully I can get a bit of line of sight from the archers up here as they come in down there, protected a little bit by this wall, with the melee guys around here somewhere, in order to take them as they come through. that's the plan. Now I haven't tried this yet, so it's all going to be new to me. So that being said, obviously I will appreciate any suggestions or advice, will be warmly welcome. But if you do enjoy my content in any way, please do consider liking and subscribing. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching.